Hello and welcome to Kids Corner. Sir Winston and I have another story for you. It's called Jesus Cleansing or Clearing the Temple. So, let's watch it.
Now Jesus and the 12 went up to Jerusalem near to the time of the Passover. On arrival, they went to the temple, which was full of people buying animals for the traditional sacrifices, and other people exchanging various types of coins for those used by the animal vendors. This was because Israel was no longer primarily a farming society, so people did not have animals of their own, or they lived too far away. So they brought money from where they lived and worked, and then had to have it changed to the common currency used by the temple. Jesus was troubled by this activity. He could see that some of the currency traders were taking advantage of people, and that many of the people were making the sacrifice more out of habit than faith in God. Jesus and the 12 retired to a friend's home in Bethany outside of the city for the night. The next morning, Jesus was still troubled, but by the time they arrived back at the temple, he was determined. Again, the outer area of the temple, known as the Court of the Gentiles, was busy with people, animals, and currency traders. As it was the week before Passover, you could barely move. Jesus bought some cord and quickly made a whip out of it, then proceeded into the courtyard and using the whip drove the animals out of it. As the crowd gazed on in shock, he moved to the money changers and exclaiming, "Take these things out of here! Stop making my Father's house a marketplace!" When they did not move, he threw over their tables and chased them away. Jesus then sat down to teach, beginning with, "It is written, 'My house shall be called a house of prayer,' but you are making it a den of robbers." Some of the crowd asked, "By what authority do you do this? Show us a sign." Jesus responded, "Destroy this temple, and I will raise it again in 3 days." Some laughed, "It took 46 years to build this temple. How could you raise it in 3 days?" But Jesus did not mean the building, he meant his body, and his disciples remembered this. He taught all that day, and the priests were very angry, but dared not approach him because the crowd hung on his every word.
Sir Winston and I were talking about it, and we think that's really the only time in the Bible where it mentions Jesus becoming, really angry, so much that he's violent, he's chasing people away. And so thought we need to ask ourselves the question, why would he do that? And I think if you listen to the story, it talks about the money changers and the people selling the animals, that they're overcharging people. People would be coming to Jerusalem during the Passover to pay their temple tax, and they couldn't pay it with Roman coins, and Romans were the overlords at that time because it had the face of the leaders on it. And so the money had to be changed for Hebrew money. And the money changers would take a percentage of that person's money to do it. And I think you could say perhaps what made Jesus angry is the things that would make God angry. People, in a way, perhaps being cheating or being harder on the poor. So let's look around and think about what things around us would make God angry, and then what we could do about it. Shall we have a little prayer together? If you could bow your heads and repeat after me. Loving God, thank you for being with us. Help us to be kind to others and to your world. Amen. And we'll see you next time at Kids Corner.